Hello and welcome to SudoKanard. We are here to solve this multiple Sudoku that I created a few days ago. The special rule is that whenever you have a number between two cells, it means that the two-digit number formed by the two cells is a multiple of the number in the circle. So this should be a multiple of 19, this should be a multiple of 8, and this of 23, and this should be a multiple of 1, which is a bit of a meme. Actually 1 and 7, with this 17 it only made sense. So this variant of Sudoku is to appear in the upcoming WPF Sudoku Grand Prix, in which all puzzles have been created by the famous and great American author Thomas Snyder. And I thought I'd create a practice puzzle with lots of prime numbers. You see that I've not included 11 because 11 just wouldn't work. I've put some more prime numbers here. I've put almost all the prime numbers below 50, but 43 and 47 somehow didn't fit in the mix. So where do we start? Well, a place to start is this clue 5. Obviously I won't put a 0 here, so 5 is better. So divisible by 7, that has to be 56. Divisible by 13, that has to be 65. And then divisible by 17, that has to be 51. And here 19, and here 92. And here 96, divisible by 8. So that's a very prolific start. And here divisible by 4, only 36 and 76 will work. The interesting part here is that to have this divisible by 6, if you try to put a 3 here, then you'll need to have 30 or 36 and none of them work. So this is actually a 7, followed by a 2 or an 8 for 72 or 78. And you can see that this 2 clue is actually useless. So that's a neat start. We see that 3, 4, and 8 are missing in this central box. And then where do we look? Well, this one tells us that this is not 31. And this 6 tells us that it's not 62, so it can only be 93. Higher multiples will use more than 2 digits. 37, it could be 37. It could be 74, but any higher multiple would use more than 2 digits. Here we could have 29. We couldn't have 58 because of this 5. We could have 87, but nothing higher. This 41 now, it could be 41, it could be 82, except that 82 wouldn't work, because if I try to put an 8 and a 2 here, then there's no option for this cell. So this is actually 41. So 4 is excluded from this. Now we know that this is a 7 and that's a 3. And we know that this is a 9 and this is a 2. So that's a bunch of easy-ish eliminations. This one here says that this is not 17. This 3 says that this is not 34. We can still have 51. 68 seems to work. 85 seems to work. So that's still 3 options. That's not so interesting to pencil mark at this point, I guess. What about this 12? Oh, I'm seeing this 2 actually, which must appear somewhere here. But if I try to put a 2 here, the divisibility by 9 means we must have a 7, and that breaks. So 2 is actually here with a 4, so that this is divisible by 12. Here we need 1 5, 6, and 8, so this is not 6. So we could have 1 with 8. So I was saying 1, 5, 6, 8. So 8 would be with a 1, which doesn't work. And 6 would be with a 3, which doesn't work. So 18 is the only option. And up there we get the 2. This 3 rows 3 out of this cell. And where is the next place to look? Well, we don't have so many constraints about this, but here we have something. This is the 10 digit for both a multiple of 14 and a multiple of 7. And that's interesting because here we must have two numbers that are in a span of 10 with the same 10 digit with different unit digits, and those must be separated by 7. And this is the even digit and this is the odd digit. So one option would be with 1 and 8, and the other option would be with 2 and 9. So, and actually, if you try to put a 1 here, that doesn't work, because here, for the divisibility by 3, we would need 2, 5, or 8, and all three of them have been excluded. So this is actually a 9, so that this is a 2, and this is a 4. 42 is divisible by 14, and 49 is a multiple of 7. This now must be a 3 or a 6. This digit here sees 42, and it must be an even digit, so it has to be a 6 or an 8. If I try to put a 6, then multiple of 3 needs here a 3. And if this is 8, then this has to be 147. That's not so interesting to pencil mark. What is the next place to look? Well, actually, if you look closely, this column still needs 3, 8, 5, and 9, and because of those digits, this must be 3 or 8, and those must be 5 and 9. So this now, for this to be a multiple of 7, this has to be a 3 or a 4, which is interesting because we now know that this multiple of 17 will never be 34. It could still be 17. It couldn't be 51 because of this. Could it be 68? I guess it could. 85 is not possible either because of this. But actually, what I forgot to mention is that here we need 5, 6, and 8. That's not 8. So that this is never an 8 and this is never an 8, so the number here is 17. This must be a multiple of 1, which is not so interesting, I agree with you. Now we need 2, 4, 6, and 8, so this is 6 or 8, and the remaining digits on this row must be odd. And you can see that this digit here can only be a 7. This is from 3 and 5, and this is from 3 and 9. This column here still needs 1, 4, and 8. So this is 4 or 8, this is 1, 4, or 8. Now, where is the next place to look? Do we know more about this? We know that it's not 17 because of this one, it's not 34 because of this 4, it could still be 51, it couldn't be 68, it could still be 85. And an interesting point is that this does include a 5. Now let's have a look at this row. We still need, just wondering, am I missing something? There's something else I should do before looking at this row, I'm afraid. And what could this be? 17, 3. Is this about that? What about digit 3? I know there must be a 3 somewhere in here. Maybe I should look more closely. Oh yes, there's a 2 here. Nine must come here. So here the missing digits are 3, 5, 6, and 7. So that must be from 5, 6, 7. This 4 tells us that 4 must appear somewhere here. Oh, sorry about that. That's not true. 4 must be somewhere in here. Oh, I said earlier that this must include a 5, so this is not 5. I'm certain that I'm missing something at this point. So nice elimination. Which one is it? I'm seeing something about digit 7. 7 is not in here. And 7 does not appear in the 7 clue because then the other digit would have to be also a multiple of 7. So there's a 7, there's definitely a 7 around here, and a 7 around here. That doesn't seem to be so useful. So is this about that? So 6 would come with a 3. There's nothing against that, I think. 8 would come not with 7, but with 1 or 4. Which doesn't seem so useful either. This 2 is interesting. 2 must appear somewhere on this row. Would 2 here work? 2 here would be with 1 or 8, which would be very useful. Because then we would have a triple here. But then I have no proof that this is correct. On this column, 9 can only be here. I've been missing this. This is from 3, 5, and 7. So 9 must be somewhere on this row. One, 3, 4, 8, 9. Oh, I've been missing this. There must be an 8 somewhere in here, so that's not 8. I'm certain that I'm missing something important. Is this about 7? I don't see anything with 7. Oh, actually, I'm seeing what I'm missing. So we already say that 5 is not here, so 5 has to be here, and 5 won't be with the 3, so 3 is here. And that's 5 and 7 to ensure that this number is divisible by 3. And that's a 6. That's not a 6. So 5, 7 in here. So 7 must be somewhere up there. And then this column still needs 1, 5, 8, and 7. 5 is around here. So this must be from 1 and 8 because of this 5 and 7. So we have a triple, a 1, 5, 8 triple, so 7 is up there in the column. That's not 7, and this gives a 3, 5 pair here, so that is a 6. And this digit at the top can only be a 7. What have I done? Oh, sorry about that. I've deleted the 7, but actually I should have deleted the 5, and 7 can only be here in the column. This is from 3, 5, and 6. This is from 1 and 8. And here we still need 3, 4, 6. 6 can only be here. And that's a 3, 4 pair. So now, on this row, 3, 4, we still need 1, 8, and 9. And this is one of the trickiest steps in the puzzle. Well, actually, there are several ways of seeing this, but what I saw when I constructed the puzzle is that we have a quadruple here, a 1, 4, 8, 9 quadruple, so that those digits can't appear in here. And earlier I mentioned that if this were a 2, then this would have to be a 1 or an 8, which just does break. We have too many places to fill with too few digits. So that 2 is actually here, it pushes the 7 down. Now those digits must be 3 and 5 in some order, but to be a multiple of 7 they must be in this order. So that's not a 3, so that's not a 6, that's 8, that's a 6. Now this is not 8, and this 3 gives the 4, the 3, the 4, 8 and 3 here. That's 1, that's 8, that's 5, that's 8, that's 4, that's not 8, and there we get the 1, which results 8 1 there, up there. And let's ponder the situation. This one gives a 4. This is indeed divisible by 3. And then let's see what more can be done. 4 is not here, it's here on the last column, on the last row, more like. This 5 is not here, it must be here. 5, 8, and 6, and this is actually 6. So now this can't be 8, so that this can't be 6. We still need a 5, 51 or 85. We still don't know about this. But up there, this is a 3 now. Multiple of 7 needs a 5. That's a 9. That's a 6. Sorry about that. 3 and 5 and 8. And 3 here. Those must be 2 and 4. We complete the row with a 6. Here we need a 2 and a 9, which make those digits 1 and 9, and this is now 85, and the remaining digits are just falling one after the other. So this digit included quite a few tricky steps, definitely, without being overcomplicated as another puzzle of mine could have been said to be. So I hope you enjoyed this. Thanks for watching this video. Have fun solving WVF Sudoku Grand Prix by Thomas Snyder. And do well. And see you soon on SudoKanard.